Xcode, create new project. Rather than playground, come back here, app. Okay, and click on next button. Oh, a little different right here, right? The product name. So this will be, I would say, homework 6. Homework 6. What I will do there is login. And then don't forget the interface should turn on storyboard. If you go to Swift UI, you'll get in big trouble unless you are really, really excellent in Swift UI coding. I want to play in storyboard where we can simply drag and drop. Language, it should be Swift. Don't go to Objective-C unless you are really, really good at C programming. If you want to stay with me, then stay in Swift. Storage.
So is the storyboard?
Yeah, storyboard. Storage, if you want to store anything right now, then you need to go to core data. But at this level, we don't do. But we will go back to use database. You guys know a little bit of database already, right? So we'll get that. But for now, none. Don't go alone, on your own, by yourself, to deal with the database. Okay? If you know that, I'm glad. But none right now. And then go to next. You need to decide where you want to save and create. It's quite different from Playground, right? And you see here on the left side, more data. And you have here, right now you don't need to touch. Later, when your app needs to communicate with the internet, then we need to come back here. See here on this, on top there are so many menus. And if you want to include some of other capabilities, then you need to do that later. For example, if you click this, then 5G network slicing, what other, some health kit, home kit, iCloud, ID verifier, keychain, maps, near field communication, VPNs, and push to talk, and so many. If you want to include your app, cities, walnuts, anything. Right now we don't, right? So when it comes to do some of the internet access, then we need to do here. If you want to if you want to locate somebody's GPS location, then also you have to do here. Every time you want to change it, remember that your iPhone, it asks you to enter, right? Do you agree to do this? Allow once, or allow all the times, or disagree? That type of questions needs to be asked. So that needs to be done here. We don't do that right now. Only that we need to do here, two things. View controller, if you click that view controller, this is a coding space. So we need to do code here. I think you guys already familiar with this, right? This is a view controller, which is a subclass of UI view controller, where there is a function called the view did load that is overridden after we have view did load inherited. So this is a given. On the upper right corner of this, if you click that, then that is a inspectors like this. This will come, but right now, not much from this editor. But when you click on the main on the left to the file organizer, click on main. This is a storyboard. So we need to do drag and drop here. So this can be moved. So which one can we drag and drop? we have no library right now, right? But if you see here on top, this editor on top right corner, not all the way to that inspector, but this, there's a plus sign. Click on that. Then you will have libraries. Some of the graphical components there, right? So let's bring this label first. So bring that here, drag and drop. You can extend a little bit to left side. You can extend a little bit to right side. And on the right side, the utility pane, then it says this whatever the text that you have here, that appears here. This guy says label, right? That is a label. So if you change this there, say first app and hit enter, then it can be displayed here, right? If you want to change it, the font, if you want to increase the font, then you can increase this. And if you want to put this on the center, then there is a alignment center alignment. If you want to make this increase the height a little bit, then you can do. So you can move this any way that you want. If you want to change it, the background, where's the background? Where a little lower in that inspector, click that, and I want to put it in blue. So they are in blue.
It's the background, right?
Yes.
I didn't feel the font again.
There's a font, I think fourth row from top.
Okay.
And then at the right end, there's a upper arrow and lower arrow, up arrow, down arrows. We can do this more by bring this library. If you want to, this library, once we use, then it disappears. If you want to use it, continue. If you want to leave it here, then you need to do that by holding down Option key and click that plus sign, then it'll stay here.
How do you hold it?
Option key. There's an Option key on your keyboard. And then you can say that here, you can make this double click, and then you can say name and colon, like this. And then back to your library. On top, click there. If you say text field, then there is a text field in that search. Bring that text field. If you want to make this more visible, then here, border style on that inspector. Border style, click one left from far right end. And if you want to do similar things more and more, then you can click anywhere and make sure both whatever objects are selected, like this, and then Command C and Command V. So bring this there, and you can do a password. At the end, we need to put here a colon. So if you want to move this text field little,
How do you name the text field name? Like name and password, right? Name. You just write something or name it.
you change it, double click and change it. So you can put this nicely or whatever you want to do. Right? It is your design. Okay. Like this. If you want to remove that library, then there is a X button in red. So you go. At this point, if you want to emulate this, then on top of that that X code, in the middle there is a the device list, so that you can select. I would select iPhone 15 Pro, and then let's do emulates. How can we run? On the left right above that left pane where there is a the file organizer, there is a triangle. Click on that, and you will see so build succeeded. So make sure that you have your emulator works like that you made. There, if you can type, say, John Yoon. Why this guy? And then password. We don't have any button, anything at all yet, right? First thing that we need to do is password display is no good, right? So we have to change this. This text field, if you click this, simply select that, and then there is a secure text entry. If you select that option, remember here, secure text entry, and then rerun, replace. Then you can do JYOON, and then my password that is hidden, right? Okay. All right. If you see here, this view, on top, there are three buttons, right? On left, when I click, it says a view controller. In the middle, there's the first responder, and then among those three, on the right end, if you bring your, yeah, it says here, this is exit. This is nothing but exit here, or nicely shown here. And this is first responder, and this is view controller. This view controller is nothing but the file view controller. If you see here, this is a view controller. If you want to see this side by side, watch this. I want to close this, the right end utility pane or inspector pane. Make a little space, more space. And then there is a, on the right end, from top, the second icon, there is called the Add Editor on right. If you click that, then this editor can be divided into two. On your right end and left end. Left end is your that. Right end also same thing. But on this right end, I want you to click here, View Controller File. If you click that, then file comes here. On left, there is a like this. Okay, then this is a view controller, name view controller, which is here view controller. They are matched. They should be matched. Initially, by default, the first view, and this is the graphical, this is also called the view. This is a file, view controller file. View controller file and this view are linked. They are by default connected. After this, if you want to create, then two things, keep this in mind. Two things that you have to do. You have to create the view from drag and drop in storyboard. And then you have to make a file like this on the right side, file. Those two are not yet known each other. So you need to connect them manually. Therefore, your view, which is a graphics, and your file, which is a view controller file coding list, are sitting together. Okay? So three things. Okay. Drag and drop in the storyboard, and coding in the editor. Number two. Number three, connect them. Right now, by default, they're already connected and provided to you for the first view and first file. So you don't need to worry about. Okay. Next thing that we will do, we need to make a from here button. So button can bring here. If you want to, for a while, remove this editor, only play with the storyboard, then you can close it. Within this, the editor, if you see top on that editor, there is an X mark. There's a mark X. It says close this editor, so you can close this. So you can divide and display two different things, because we will end up having many files here on the left side. So you can bring one file and another file and compare and do something. Or sometimes you can bring up the views, images, so many things, different things that you have to do. Right now, we need to do something about this button, right? So I need to bring up that inspector one more time. Button. It is called the button. So I want to do sign in. Foreground, background. Where is the background? I want to make this font custom regular style, maybe bold, and size, font size, font title, large title, then maybe too large, title 2. You can play with that. Background, system pink color, nice. Images, if you want to put some images, then you can do like rectangle. This looks better, right? We have this. I can bring that out here. Maybe sign in. Like this. And bring that back here. And I want to push this a little to left. This guy needs to be a little bit like that. Okay. And if you want to put some images there, then you can type images, then we will have image view. Image view, bring that image view here. What I want to do, I want to bring some image here. Okay. So if you want to bring images, then images needs to be here in this on this device. So you need to do click on asset. Image is one of the assets, right, on your device. So click on that assets. Then you can bring some images into it. In order to do that, you need to have some images available. If you have images, then you can bring it. I would find some of the images from my directories. I want to put kind so that I can find some PDF. Oh, I have a PNG. PNG. This is not really images. It's not images that I want to do. I want to find out somewhere else. I do have some images, if I remember that. JUN images.
Can't you go to the folder to look up the images?
Those are outside. I saw outside from that Xcode.
No, from asset, like if I upload something in my computer, when images, how do I go from there?
That is, you guys do not know MacBook. Play with the MacBook. On there's a finder on the bottom. Oh, you don't see it.
No, he's asking how do we go from the computer directly?
Right, there's a finder.
Yeah, I know it's a finder.
Yeah, you need to find out from there. This is outside the Xcode. This is not linked to, this is two separate things. I'm not coming here from Xcode. I pushed away Xcode, and then, oh, there's some of my images. Okay, I'll bring this image. This is outside of that Xcode. There's no magic. Okay, this is your file finder. So drag and drop into your, I think here. Then you can have that. Okay, anything that you want to, you can do. And now I am in Xcode. You can change this name, say JUN. So this is JUN. Okay, this is simple. Just drag and drop from your finder. So back to Xcode. I'm in the file. We need to do some of the coding here. Okay. We need more space. So I will hide that inspector, and I want to make. I want to divide the editor. On left side, I want to have this main, the board. What I need to do, I need to have all of these components. Which ones are most important? If you see here, text field, that is important, right? When user enter something, then you need to your code needs to take care of user input. Button, that is also important to components, because your code needs to do something in response to button clicking. This image views, same thing. You have to bring some image into that image view. Those things needs to be taken care in your coding list. Right now, your code does not know what it is. This text field or button or image views. This guy, your file does not know, right? Of course, you didn't do anything yet. So here's the things that you have to do. Watch this. Something that you need to take care of within your codings, then you need to click that items. Just select that item, do not move. Just short click. Holding down Control button, drag and drop to your coding list, and release both. Then there is a pop-up menu. It says a connection. So actually what we are doing here, your graphical component is connected to your coding. So now we are doing, hey, we need to connect from graphical components to your coding list. here you need to name it. This first text field, you need to name it. One convention here, I want to start with that generic name, acronym, TF for text field, and then I name my own variable name. For that text field is for user's login name, so I can say name. So type of that graphical component is UI text field. Therefore, name of that variable, I say TF name. All others, you do not need to worry about. Only the connection here, it says outlet. Automatically, it gives you outlet, or some other times action, if action is required, like a button. But text field is not action. Your code needs to grab user type strings into your codings, right? So it's not action, just outlet. And then there's a button on the bottom, either cancel or connect. So I wanted to do connect. Then very nicely, on your codings, these things already came here. I'm going to explain. Here's one thing very, very important. IB outlet. And this is a variable. So you do not need to worry about. This is a variable, and this is a variable name. What is the type of this variable name? UI text field. So UI text field is a type of that. And they're ending with exclamation mark. Exclamation mark means we use this only explicitly there is some text in it. If there is no text, we don't need to read it, right? So there is exclamation mark. There's two symbols available, either exclamation mark or question mark. Question mark. Question mark means optional. That value may not be needed. If you could think you need absolutely the value from that text field, then question mark. Login, we're now working on login, right? Without user login name, absolutely it doesn't make sense, right? So question mark. But by default, this guy already give you question mark. Same thing, password, holding down control button, drag and drop to your right editor, release both of those, and then you can say TF and password, PSSWD. Then I have that. Okay. What else do you think my code needs to take care of? Button, right? So button, holding down control, button, and drag and drop to the bottom of that coding list, because this is an action. Action means you have to do some of the codings within that implementation, right? So release it. This guy, intelligently know that the connection is not outlet, but action. Don't change this to outlet. Leave it action. And then button name, I would say btn. That is for the type that I want to indicate, right? Button, and then I would say sign in. Sign in. Clearly, you will be able to see here, this is a button name, like a function. Function is an action, right? And then there is a variable, first variable, and only one variable, sender. There's sender, one name sender. So sender that we are going to use within this implementation. Should we use? No, it's not a must. If you need to, then you need to use these variables. This is a caller side name. This is a type, any type here. Here called IB outlet. Here IB action. IB outlet, IB action. You can define function like func directly, func, and then verify, open and close, and then do this. This is one of typical function, right? This is a special function. There is some of the modifier before that func, before that variable here, some of the modifier. If you want to create your own other variable, you simply say variable, and then you can say code. There's an integer that comes from integer and random, like we did, right? And I want to get the random number 100,000 to 1 million. Okay, this is also variable. This is a variable, but I have here IB outlet variable. Okay, if you compare these two. Similarly, if you compare this func, simply func and func name, but here IB action. IB stands for interface builder. Interface builder. So these guys, those variables and functions are very important for interface. Interface between your app with the user, or interface between one view to another view and another view. You have multiple views, right? Your app is not only one view. Well, there may be one simple views, only one view, one screen, right? Some other case, if you click this and goes next to another view and click another, you chose and enter something and goes another view and another view. You can design that here on this storyboard. Okay. What I will do. Okay. Then next one is, I'm going to close this. I want to bring more views, okay? So that we need to navigate from one view to another view and another view. And sometimes we need to come back to the first views. In order to do that, click that view controller. On top menu on your screen, there is an editor. Click that editor, and then there is an embed in, and inside the embed in menu, there is a navigator controller. Make sure that you have that. Watch the screen. Once I have done, then it'll go away. So click on this, and editor, embed in, and there is a navigator. Click on that. Boom. So this is a navigation controller. This is view controller. Somehow there is connected. From these points, then we can make another view here. Okay. So that can be done by clicking that show library, and if you type here view controller, then that is view controller. So bring that view controller here. So we have 3 of those, right? Right now. The last one that you want to do, if this button is clicked, it goes to the next view. That's our design, okay? Then what you need to do is that sign in button, holding down control key, sign in button, drag and drop to next view, release. Then there is, it says action segue and show. I want you to click show. This is action segue. If you click that button, then there is a segue to next view. So click on the show. Then there is the segue established. And then this segue, if you click this, that is highlighted in blue. I want to bring that inspector. Display that inspector. While this is still clicked, still highlighted in blue, then make sure it says a storyboard segue on that inspector. And there one below, there is a text field identifier. You need to assign ID to that segue. So the way that I can ask you to do, the segue name is SG, and then you can say sign in. This is your name, not my name, not you define it, and hit enter. Okay. If you see that utility pane menu, on the right end, there is a circle, 2 circles. If you click that, The one before. Oops, why? If you click that. Oh, it doesn't show. Maybe not. If you click this text field, one last. Okay. So we can see, we can inspect here. I click the text field, login text field. It shows here TF name that is connected to view controller. That's what it is, right? This button, then this button connected to this action is in the view controller show. Through the segue, touch on inside. Yeah, it can be touch on inside. That's what this button is. Segue is not really shown here. Okay. All right. So I want to close this. I want to hide the inspector. Instead, I want to split the editor. And on right side, I want to have the view controller. Oh, wait a minute. I want to close that editor for a second. Okay. So we have this view, right? But this view does not have, right now, if you see the editor here, I mean the inspector here, if you click the one given by default, the first view, if you click this, and then on that inspector, the class name associated with this view is called view controller. That is this file, view controller, right? However, the view we just created on next, if you click that once, class is not assigned yet. Of course, we didn't make any class. At the same time, there's no file of that class, right? So we need to create that class here for this guy. As I said, there's a view and there is a codings. They should be both available and they need to be connected. Okay, view is created here. Now we need to create file. Go up, top menu, there is a file menu next to Xcode. So click on that file. The very first item, new. On that sub, there is a file. Click on that file. And by default, it's a Swift file. That's okay. So click on next. And then file name. We want to say that two-factor access control, view control, to two-factor view control, VC. So my convention here, any class name, ending with the VC, therefore that is a view controller. So this is kind of a view controller, but that's specific for two-factor. What I'm trying to do here, I want to create two-factor things. Others you don't need to say here. So create that. Then this is given, right? Right now, oh, I do not know what it is. I want to get some hint. Then you need to have split this menu, editor. One left, the one that you already know, view controller. And on right, this is a thing that we just created. I want to make this similar to the left side. I do not want to import the foundation, but UI kit. And then class, I need to start the class. What is my class name? Class name is like a file name. View controller, that's a file name here. What is a file name that I just created? Two-factor VC. So when I type on the class, I need to use that name, exact the same name. Otherwise, that's not object orientation. So two-factor VC. What is the type of that two-factor VC? Of course, that should be UI view controller. And open curly braces and close. Same thing that we did when this one first created. There is an override function. View did load, right? Should we type it? Not all. But here, watch. You need to type simply view did. If you type view did, it already knows. There's a menu says M for method and view did load highlighted so that I simply hit return. Boom. Very nice, right? And only what I need to do here is a super dot view did load. So by doing so, usually this type of things is given, right? This view controller file initially given like this. So I set like that. I want to close two things, and I want to bring the main. Click this. So what it is? There's a custom class. Class name is not yet assigned. So we need to see whether that is already known by Xcode. So click that. Oh, lucky. There is a called the two-factor VC, already known, right? In the menu. So select it. Hit returns. Look at this. This guy already changed two-factor VC. So this is a two-factor VC. Here also we need to do a little bit of that, the graphical components. So I need to do Option key and click on that library button, plus button. I want to make this a little bit bigger. Bigger, okay. I want to bring that label here. I want to say something here. Your two-factor code. And I want to bring the code here. This is nothing but real code. So we need to put that code there. And on bottom, I want to have some here, comment one, and that editor. I do not want to put that in dark black. I want to make light gray color. Comment one. And copy and paste. And comment two. This is from left to right. This is from right to left. Left justification, right justification. So a little bit big up to here. They are both okay. On this, I want to have also another label. Hi. Another label. Name. Simply we do like this, okay? Name. I want to display something here into the name. So hide this utility. Divide on right side, two-factor on left side. I do not hide that library, and I want to. So this is the view, right here. View. This is a code. They are connected. Basically, after that, if you have any graphical components in the view, then each one that needs to be taken care of the code. Then you need to again, this code needs to understand what components that you want to handle, right? So same thing here. Holding down control button and name here, and you can say this is outlet name. This is simply label, so you can say label LB and name and connect. This is a variable, but interface build a variable. Another variable that you can say here, user name and string. No, we need to put equal sign. If you want to do type here, then you need to do here string and equal. That's fine too. So Swift, Python is non-typed language. When you do code in Python, you don't need to declare, hey, what is the type of this? What is the type of the other? You simply bind the value to a variable, right? But Java and C, there's a typed language. When you declare variable, then you need to explicitly, hey, this is integer, this is a string, no, character, this is what. You have to say that, otherwise your compiler gives you an error, right? What about Swift? Is this a typed language or non-typed language? Swift is both typed language and non-typed language. Typed language, we can do like this, type, string. Non-typed language, we don't need to say username and then directly, without having to say type of that, we simply assign the value, string. So both are possible in Swift, which is good, right? What I'm trying to do here, I want to, the first view, when I type and click sign in, and on the next view, I want to display username there. So username taken by that button and send it to the next view. That's what I want to do. Okay? So here on the left side, I want to bring that coding list of view controller. Here, when in order to send it to the next, then we need to put here prepare a function that is already available, prepare. We simply use that method, prepare. Click this prepare. Boom, everything here, right? And then we need to put here, if you see this is override, which means that's already defined here UI view controller. We simply override it. We simply inherit it. Prepare is inherited from this UI view controller. We don't need to do much here because this guy already said. And then first variable is for, this is for the caller side. Segue, that is my implementation variable. And segue is nothing but UI storyboard segue. This is a type of that. And then there is a sender. Here on my codings, I can simply say segue dot and then destination. What is the destination right now? Destination as, that's a two-factor VC. So we already know this segue goes to two-factor view controller, right? And I want to put this in my local variable. I would say let destination two-factor. Okay, this is my variables. If I say dest two-factor, if you see here, there is a username, right? This username is on the other view, but this username already known here, username. Username is not available here, local, but username is available in here, destination, that username. Into that username, I want to get from user login, which is text field name. So text field name, how can we get the text from that text field? We can simply get text. If we get this text, then I think the exclamation needed, right? It's fixed exclamation. As far as that text field absolutely has some value, then we need to assign that value to username, which is available in the destination. By having this, it comes here in the destination. When it comes here, I want to display it immediately. When the second view is loaded, I want to display the username. How can you do? Into this label, LV name, text. Into that, I want to put a username. This guy prepare and assign the value, username, on the first view. On the second view, I want to display it from the beginning. View did load. So let's see if it is done like that. So I want to emulate it. And when I type JYON, this password, we didn't do anything yet. This doesn't do, we don't cook anything for this password, right? But this username, when I click this, it'll be displayed on the next view. So click it. Oh, came up here. Hi, Jae-yoon. If you do back button, come back. Go, come back. I want to put here code. Okay. So how can you make the code? Code is generated here, right? Randomly. That code needs to be here. Code may not be. Do we have a code? We don't have IB interface builder outlets, right? So here we need to do here on this side view controller, on the left side main, and I want to this code to be connected to the code, holding down control button and bring it here. So outlet fine, and there is a label, and then I can say code, enter. So there is IB code. So to that IB code, here I don't need to do this. Then LB code, not IB code. LB for label. So label code to text. There I need to assign the code that is randomly generated. Okay. I think it is called. It says absolute value. Oops, it's not. Oh, the code is now integer, so we need to do string. And then rerun. Oh, this is not shown completely, so we need to do wider. Oh, there's very similar to the code that we have always, the two-factor authentication. If you go to banking systems from your web browser, they ask you to hey, I text you the key, then you need to enter the keys, things like that, right? So that is it. So when you do here, Jae-yoon from the second key here, then we need to say here, what is the code that you received? So you remember that code, enter here, and then verify me, then come back to verify you. That type of things will be done. I think if we do too much, then you may be heated, stressed too much. We'll continue next week. And today you have already the homework assignments, so do it, and we will continue this the Xcode next week. Any question? All right. Have a good rest of the day.